Give me the loop. Give me the loop. I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Fuck you, pay me. These classic hip-hop lyrics and many others like them help shape hip-hop's whole entire attitude about demanding your full worth. Our song, Gimme The Check, is just pretty much a continuation of that same sentiment. The thing is, in R&B, it's really hard to kind of like transmit that, that kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, Marvin Gaye and Al Green weren't talking about like, bitch better have my money, It's kind of hard, So, I kind of had to go into a flow for this one, and some people were asking me, yo, like, what's that song really all about? So, without further ado, I have to break down these bars from Gimme The Check. All right, so cold, but my flow stayed dirty, dirty. All right, some people would be like, okay, yeah, that shit is cold, that shit is dirty, it's just regular stuff. But what that actually symbolizes is that I'm actually from Washington, D.C., which is a little bit more southern, the beginning of the South, but I moved up to somewhere where it's cold. So I say, I'm so cold, damn it, but my flow stayed dirty, dirty. There's some things that I still kept from Washington, D.C., like this go-go swing and this go-go pocket. And this whole entire song is kind of me getting back to my roots and the Foundation's take on DC's classic go-go music. So when I'm on a mic, I'm a little flirty. Sometimes I am. And in the show I can be. So because of that, you can call your sister, your mama, and your little baby cousin and tell them about them if you never heard of me. You know what I mean? And for real, this music is good for all generations. So call your mama, call your sister, and call your baby cousin and tell them to come to the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good for everybody, My squad is on fire, we don't mess around. When we step up in the spot, it's going down. I mean, again, asserting your self-worth. My squad is fire. I gotta say it. If nobody's gonna say it for me, my squad is fire. Foundation, you know what time it is. When we step into the spot, it's going down. As a group or individuals, when you see one of them motherfuckers, it's like, oh shit, it's on. Straight up. No cap. So, best to get your hands up on a ticket, cause we's about to flip it, turn it up, and shut it down. Again, we step up in the spot. We are here to assert our self-worth. We've worked hard. We are ready for this moment. That's all that it is. It's not a ego tripping or whatever. But again, when you come from an oppressed or a marginalized community, or you're in a situation where you're an underdog or you got a chip on your shoulder or whatnot, that's kind of the attitude and confidence that you have to walk into the building with. And that's all we're saying and continue. Been running in this game for a while now. Facts. Way before y'all was on the SoundCloud. Facts. Y'all been sleeping way too long. King Kong about to wake your ass up and y'all gonna bow down. See now? That's the frustration. That's when you have been counted out for a while and you raise up and you scream. That's that mama said knock you out. That's that Khalees. I hate you so much right now. That's it. It's just, that's primal. That's kind of the feeling. But at the same time, again, asserting your self-worth, saying that you have put in the time into your craft. We don't get paid by the hour because it takes too long to build an empire. Catch a vibe and we're feeling inspired. And now we're coming back from on fire. All right. And we don't get paid by the hour because it takes too long to build an empire. For anybody that has an acute skill or a craft, you really get to a point in like a fine art or, ballet, sound engineer, anything that really requires like hours of work and mastery of that craft. when you get there, you ain't gonna get really paid by the hour. I'll give you an example right now. My boy Frank O'Sullivan is a very precise guitar player. If he gets called into the studio session, he may literally walk in the studio and it will take him just 30 minutes. You think he's charging for the hour? No. He's charging because my man went to school. He got a bachelor's degree in his instrument and afterwards when he gets there. So that's what you're getting paid for, because it takes too long to build an empire. We're entrepreneurs right now. What we're doing, we're building an empire. Like, we ain't flipping burgers right now. Like, that's what it is. So as entrepreneurs, that's the type of attitude that you have. So I'm sorry, we don't charge by the hour. Facts. So catch a vibe and we feeling inspired. And now we coming back with more fire. All right. It's the return of the boom bap. You Bama should move back because we're cocking back with more ammunition. It's the return of the boom bap. KRS-One had an album called The Return of the Boom Bap, but it also means that this is kind of that boom bap hip hop, and it's not trap. You know what I'm saying? So we bringing it back to the boom bap. It's the return of the boom bap. You Bama should move back because we cocking back with more ammunition. Bars, tracks, we're just loading up our ammunition. We in the lab bumping new tracks, so don't you confuse that with baby rappers trying to get to my position. I don't mean to offend nobody, but I'm not out here just trying to be, a mumble rapper, SoundCloud rapper, whatever. I have dreams of entrepreneurship, of production, of putting together arrangements and ensembles and providing music at a higher level for the culture than just being a star and having a little bit of shine for a little bit of time. Like, that's not my interest. I'm not in this game for that. So that's why I said it. It's not necessarily to be mean towards any particular person. It wasn't a subliminal. I ain't that dude. Don't worry about it. But yeah, like I'm not a baby anymore. That's all it is. I arrange strings with mandolins and violins, flow on point like Tupac and Anderson. All right. In my last album, I had some strings on the album, so I had really the joy to work with string arrangers. You know what I mean? So like I said, I'm not like a baby rapper. I'm really trying to be as complete of a musician as I can possibly be. So again, asserting my worth, asserting my time, showing my bio, showing my resume. So arrange strings with mandolins and violins. Flow on point like Tupac and Anderson. Anderson .Paak, sometimes this is Anderson .Paak, but don't forget the dot. So Anderson .Paak, Tupac, flow like Tupac Anderson. That was kind of just the illusion that I wanted to make. It is what it is. Banging your heads with that go-go from the Coco. If you don't know, you will no show. So don't you come trying to pretend. All right, listen. I'm banging your heads with that go-go. Like you hear, this beat is our interpretation of go-go from my hometown, Washington, D.C. With the go-go from the Coco. Coco like chocolate, as in Chocolate City. If you don't know, you will no show. So don't you come trying to pretend. So some people act like they down. Like, in a lot of senses, they really act like they're down and they know. And they're like, yeah, I know what that's all about. And it's like, no, you don't. You weren't there. You weren't showing up. You weren't there for the culture. You weren't there for the movement. So don't you come and trying to act like you pretend now that we popping off. So that's what that line means. Woo! All right, yeah, no, that's our favorite, probably our favorite joint. Favorite bar of the entire record, probably the most important bar of the entire record. Self-made, we came from the underground. Been putting that work and it shows. And you can tell that we've been around. And this shit is something we own. This right here is the mantra of an independent artist that got this shit out the mud. And that's just facts. No lie. So again, probably the most important bar of the entire record. If they don't understand the mission, they said you gotta leave and get a little recognition. So by the time you take a listen, I'll be in the motherland for an intermission. Whew. If they don't understand the mission, they say you gotta leave to get a little recognition. Yo. A lot of times, this is what it is to be a musician in your hometown locally. And when you don't necessarily find the traction that you want locally, then a lot of people say you got to leave your city. You got to go somewhere else. And a lot of times, it's when you get success outside of your hometown, that's when your hometown acknowledges you. But they didn't acknowledge you before that fact. So many artists in the world, in the history of the music business, can relate to that line. And that's what that line means, you know? So by the time you take a listen, I'll be in the motherland for an intermission. Peace. So by the time that this gets to your ears, I will be back into the motherland in my homeland, connecting this music, this R&B, this Afro, this funk, and bringing it back home, as you see that we're doing with Dido, and we're pretty much trying to connect with the African diaspora as much as possible because we are doing this for the culture worldwide, you know, and that's where we're at. And little tidbit, it was really amazing because like we finished recording this album, and then 2 weeks later, I was in a plane in Dakar, Senegal, and I took a little bit of vacation. So that was kind of a line for me, you know, because literally I was listening to these mixes and these masters like on the beach, like in Senegal. And it was a beautiful time. It was a nice time. It was a nice time. So, yo, that's pretty much what it is. Give me the check. We're going to call it the clever. It's not genius, but, you know, it's clever. We're going to call it the clever. Brought to you by Fredy V and the Foundation. Really appreciate y'all for sticking around. Peace.